Hello, friends, and welcome to Crits and Knits. We look kind of different today because there's not a lot of us. But that's okay because we're here anyway. But it is going to be a knit only episode because honestly, with only 3 of us, it's a little bit hard to do like a dungeon crawl or something. But that's okay. We're going to talk
and
about
Sola take on the world.
Yeah, we could do it.
I mean, you could.
We could, we could just go to Herder's bar and drink.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what the episode would be, so. Yeah, it's fine. But that's okay, because we're all makers and knitters and doers. And what are we making and knitting and doing, friends?
Nothing.
Not a lot.
The knit-only episode with no knitting.
Thank you, my friends. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for joining us.
So I originally didn't have any knitting. I didn't have anything for Social Media Wednesday, but I have since decided that I wanted to make a pair of socks because I really love my socks that I made from when we had Kino Knits as our featured designer. And I need to get the name of this pattern. I remember the name of the pattern, but not who made it.
Okay.
Put it on my Google Drive so I can have it on my phone and not have to print it.
That is my favorite way to do things.
Anyway,
not printing them.
It's a sock. It's the top of a sock.
Ooh, that's a pretty yarn.
It's 2 yarn.
Okay, that's why it looks like 2 different shades as you move it. Because is it like
Magic.
green and black?
It's green and heather charcoal, so essentially
Okay.
yes. It is Chittery Chattery Socks by Stephanie Goodwin Ritter.
Okay.
And let me see if it'll. There we go.
Those are pretty.
There we go. There's a focus. So it's pretty simple. 4-row repeat. You do one of the contrasting color, which is the charcoal that I have, and then you do purl 1, knit 1 of your main color, then another just straight knit of your contrasting color, and then knit 1, purl 1 of your main color, and it comes out in this like weird, well, it's not weird, it's good weird jacquard type thing going on, and I love it.
Very cool.
It's gonna feel so good on my feet.
Yeah. Nice thick socks too.
Thick.
That's cool.
So that's all I got.
All right.
Hey, why
I
not?
had to take my I've got second sock syndrome with not a sock. I have second sock syndrome with my Owen leg armor.
Oh.
So I had to take off these needles so I could use it because I did a swatch like a good little knitter, and a good thing I did because it came out too small.
Yeah, that happens.
If you'd done the second leg armor first, you wouldn't have second leg armor syndrome.
I know, but I didn't think of that.
Call me next time.
That
Okay.
is Greg's secret there, is that he always knits
That's
the
my
second sock
specialty.
first.
That and knowing lots of numbers. Those are my 2 specialties.
Oh, yeah. I listened to the most recent podcast where you extolled your knowledge of the numbers 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, no, just 5. Yeah, that's
50
true.
yards.
It's 6. Yeah, because there was. Oh, there you go. That's
Oh, those
cool.
those are shiny.
There they go.
I like that.
I know.
Yeah, they're just
What-
some Karen Simply Soft.
Mhm.
Okay.
I received them as a going away gift from my other job, but now I no longer speak to those people, so I will I'll just tread upon their gift all the time.
Oh, I love your logic. That's fantastic. I love
That's
it.
very appropriate. I like it. I like it.
Oh,
Well, so you mentioned just listening to the most recent episode of Unraveling Podcast, which I am so excited that the introduction was done by the Crits and Knits crew, which was so much fun. And there's a blooper from the Crits and Knits crew at the end as well.
Yep.
That's fun too.
I hope to God you didn't hear the toilet flush.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so much fun.
that's good.
Yeah, I had so much fun editing that because, of course, we did the intro 2 weeks ago, and then Pam and I
Mhm.
recorded on Friday, and today's Wednesday, right? And so it was only yesterday that I was actually editing it all together, and it was like hearing it all fresh again for the first time, and I was rolling. It was so much fun. But yes, but as far as for me knitting, I cast on and completed the Euphoric Cowl.
Ooh.
And let me get the design on this. This is Euphoric Cowl by Handmade by Zan Designs. who is she has a name, but it's not easy to find. Her username is Suzanne Design. Suzanne, and I don't know what her last name is.
Okay.
It's in the pattern, but I don't have the pattern. Whatever. You
We'll
know
be
how
able to
it
find
is.
it.
Absolutely.
We can post links in the Discord.
Yeah, we could. So
join our
yes,
Discord.
it is. Yay, Discord, where we have awesome dad jokes. And so anyway, the euphoric cowl was how's it go? It goes like this. It was the knit along design for the Carolina Fiber Fest. And I cast it on, I think, like shortly after we were last recording, and finished it the day before I went down to the Carolina Fiber Fest. I haven't even blocked it yet, so it's still kind of scrunchy or whatnot. But it was such a fun bandana type cowl. So you started off kind of like a triangle shawl, and then end up joining in the round, and you've got this different textures, and then lace at the bottom and stuff, and and it was great. And go around like that. So
I like that.
So yes. But also this past weekend was the Carolina Fiber Fest, which I went down to on Saturday, and I bought some yarn while I was there. So I thought maybe I could show you some of the yarn that I bought instead of like projects that I'm making with yarn.
We like yarn.
So I got this yarn here, which is obviously a BFL superwash in sport weight, Blueface Leicester.
Oh, okay, because in my house, BFL means big fat liar.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than the sheep breed, but yes.
Yeah, right. And so it's from Gypsy Mountain Farm. And they're actually discontinuing a bunch of their stuff and like turning all their stuff over. So a lot of their yarn was half off at the Fiber Fest. And I got this one, sport weight, and I like to make socks for my mom in sport weight. So I'll probably do this. Although I just was thinking it's BFL superwash, I probably should get some nylon thread to reinforce it with or whatever. So I'll figure that out later. Then the Yarns to Die For, the Fiber Studio at Yarns to Die For is always there. And this was their show special yarn. But I think they're doing it for more than the show. And it's an ERA sponsoring equal rights amendment for North Carolina. Nice. The colorway is called Equal Rights for All, y'all. Nice. So I like it, and I love this color as well. It's really fun. So this is a fingering weight will probably turn into a shawl at some point. And then finally, so I only bought three things of yarn. I didn't have a long shopping list. I was only there for the one day also. But I had never seen something like this before, and I thought it was super cool. It is called a, again, it's from Gypsy Mountain Farm, and it is I can't read this, glasses, but it's a tube of stockinette. Stockinette, that's what it says. It says stockinette. So it's a tube of stockinette, and then a contrasting mini skein. So I could make socks by just adding heels, toes, and cuffs.
That's fantastic. Oh. That is brilliant.
It's like somebody already did the work. It is, a tube. It's about 3 feet long.
Yeah.
And so you just cut it in half to get each of your socks, and then do some measuring on your feet to see.
That scares me, cutting it.
Oh, I love cutting it now. I learned, and it's just so cool.
Yeah, I'm scared to do a steek where you cut it like up, but like cutting it in half, you just cut it in half and then like catch stitches somewhere, and you're fine. But yeah, the steeking, I'm less. Although I did kind of get over that with the frog and toad because I had to steek for the eyeballs or whatever. But then, so cut it and then graft a toe on. And then graft a heel on, and then just measure it to see where it lands on your foot, and then cut some, and then put in an afterthought heel, and there you go. So I think for me these will end up being shorty socks because I have such huge, big man feet.
Right.
So maybe I'll make socks for my wife without having to actually knit, like
Forever.
all the stockinette part.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
so yes, stockinette, a little sock tube with a I'm
I
excited
love
about
that.
that.
Do they do that on a machine? You think?
Yes, yeah, I'm sure this was done on a circular sock knitting machine, either cranked by hand or mechanically done.
Or attached to a drill?
Yes, attached to a drill. Yeah, right.
I want a circular.
Yes,
sock
and it
machine.
came with a little. Yeah, I want one too. And it's like, I want a circular sock machine, or I want a 3D printer and print out my own circular
I was gonna
machine.
say I've seen the
Hey.
3D printed ones, and I have 3D printers. I have multiple
Yeah.
3D printers, so I could do all the parts
You could do
fairly
it.
short order.
Yeah, and then you got to assemble it. It looks like the
Yeah.
assembly after you print it is
A lot.
tedious, a little tricky, and you have to be precise. But if you need a hobby
Yeah.
of printing stuff to make stuff for knitting, there you go.
And
But
honestly,
anyway.
I have an engineer who lives in my house and likes assembling stuff, so I'm like, I could probably just print it
You-
and say, here.
Make it work.
Yes.
Put this together. It's like the IKEA of sock machines.
Flat pack sock machine.
I mean, that's how things work in our house. I have an idea and I draw it on paper and give it to him, and he looks at it and puts it in the computer and then puts it from the computer to the printer, and it becomes a thing.
Wow, it goes like from.
I've got to grab though. I completely forgot a thing.
I forgot a thing too, so let us pause and go get our things.
Well, let's
Go get your
let Greg
things.
vamp.
Okay.
Get your things. I will talk about this little sheep
Yes, tell
while
me
you
I
get your
wanna hear
things.
about the sheep,
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, we'll take turns getting things. So
Okay.
this is like a little sheep. It came with my stockinette, but so it's laser cut. Like one of those laser cut wood things, and obviously they've got a little bit of this yarn wrapped around it. But you can, after you cast on a project and you've got that bit, if you're using like the long tail cast on it, and you've got 1.5 feet of yarn just hanging out. Look at this. You just wrap it around the sheep and it won't be in your way anymore. You'll have a little sheepy hanging off of your
It's so
project,
cute.
holding on to your long tail cast on, and you're super happy. So it was like a little bonus with my stockinette.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll go get my thing while
All
Danny
right, you can get your thing
talks
while
about her
Danny
thing.
does her stuff.
Well, I'll start with the less eventful knitting, I guess. So I've
Yeah.
been making more baby hats, more preemie hats. So I'm just gonna hold them up because I've done 2 of this color.
That's cool.
I love this one. It is a super bulky yarn, so the hats are a little bit bigger than the other ones that I've done.
Right?
But babies come in all sizes.
They do all the sizes.
And then I've got 5 in this really bright orange.
Yeah, ready for Halloween,
Yep.
or you're ready to go hunting.
Whatever it takes. I'm thinking that NICU babies probably aren't going hunting, but
Hey,
you never
You never
know.
you
know.
never know.
And let's see, one made out of 2 different colors of yarn because I ran
Oh,
out of
that's
both.
so cool. Yep.
2 that are out of Red Heart color changing yarn, and they came in that order.
Yeah.
Another blue one where I ran out of yarn at the tip, so instead of being a knot, it's just a little boop. 'Cause,
It's
Curly
like a-
Q.
It's like an umbilical cord for the
it
hat.
kind of is. But it's a cute little thing. So I left it.
Right.
And then these are left over from socks that I made for my mom. So they're from the same. Which way did they go? Yeah, this way. So you can see the gradient. And then a couple of little green ones. Because, spring and stuff.
Little apples.
Yeah. So lots of baby hats. And then a little bit of knitting on my podcast knitting. It's a scarf, but I'm knitting it in the round, so it's 2-ply because it's a very thin Summer Nights from Lion Brand, so it's a very thin yarn. I don't know if it's going to actually be long enough to do a decent loop, but we'll figure it out. And then this weekend, I got it in my head that I felt like cross-stitching. So I made a cross-stitch.
Aw.
Oh.
And I don't think my sister's watching, but if she is, well, hey, it's for you.
Yeah.
Because her family has a camper and they love it. So
Are they happy campers?
they are happy campers. They're very happy campers. But I had it in my head that I just wanted to cross stitch. And heaven forbid I finish one of the big Christmas stocking cross stitches or wall hanging cross stitches that I've got started. No. I started a new thing.
Right. You didn't want to just cross stitch. You wanted to start a cross stitch.
Yes, I wanted to do a cross stitch is what I wanted. And so...
Want to finish one.
Exactly. I bought it on Saturday and I finished it Sunday before bed.
Nice.
But, talking about 3D printing stuff. I saw things online and I wanted to make my own version. So I made this thing. Any guesses about what it is?
Is it like Greg's little sheep?
Kind of. It's
Is it? You put it in a like a stand-up coin-operated video game to get free plays?
Nope. You put it in a hat.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yes.
I've got a hat that has a pom-pom that has an elastic, and I have been attaching them with a button, but instead you thread the elastic through the center and loop it over, so you can just pull your pom-pom off to wash the hat and then secure it back on.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I 3D printed some, and by some I mean about 700.
450,000.
Well, the bed will hold 80, and I did it in 8 different colors, so like 640. But I'm planning to throw some of these in the very belated gift things that I'm going to be sending to all of you.
Both of us.
Yes. Well, but I've got them for all of the gang once I finally get the rest laser done. But then I'm going to take a bunch to my local yarn shop because she is fantastic and is always happy to have nifty little things to add to their wall of stuff. She sells my little sock blocker keychains. I don't know if I've shown you guys those.
Little interruption here for Blueberry. Here, come on in. I'm going to give her one of my things. You put that in so you can hear too.
Hello.
All right, can you hear? All right.
Hello.
Blueberry. She said that she wanted to say hi to everybody after she finished her shower.
Excellent. Hello. It's nice to
Squeaky
see you.
clean. Hello. Hi.
So that's Danny and that's E. And we're talking about our knitting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Go do your homework.
Okay.
That's always fun. We love extra guests.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Very
told
special
her
episode.
it's
Exactly.
very, very special to see all the rest of the crew. They're going to be so sad they missed
They
this.
are.
I told her that if we were still doing the knitting part, she could come in, but if we were doing the game playing part,
There's
too
cusses in it.
that's too sweary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have DB tonight, so that's
We're
where
probably
But I'm here.
That's true. But there is no Erasmus for Owen to swear at, so who knows how it's going to work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, anyway, you were saying that you were going to toss those into ours and maybe the rest of the crews as well.
Yes. But I figure, I think everyone who puts pom-poms on things could use these because they're just, man, it's going to make things so much easier. And I'm not going to have to raid my button stash every time I do a hat now. Because that's what I was doing, was like going through the buttons, trying to find something that would kind of blend in, but was small enough, but wasn't so precious that I didn't want to use it on the inside of a hat. Because I kind of, I like my button stash. Yeah. Although
You're
really,
a button hoarder.
I am. One of these days I'll show you guys the container. I mean, you've seen the standard shortbread cookie containers, right? The blue ones, the Royal Dansk.
Yeah.
Well, they
the
also
sewing kits.
Yeah, the sewing kits. Yeah.
Right.
Well, in my family, it wasn't a sewing kit; it was the button tin.
Yeah, our family also.
My grandma always had a button tin, and a couple of years ago, for work, because I work in a medical office, patients often bring treats at the holidays, and someone brought in a giant tin of the cookies. And so it's like, it's big. And I might have, once it was destined for the trash, I might have rescued it before it fell in and washed it out. And it is now my button tin. So I've got
that is very
big
responsible of
button
you.
I don't like letting good containers go to waste.
I love containers.
You should see the stack of boxes in my living room.
You should see the stack of boxes over my right shoulder.
But I keep good boxes because they're good boxes. But I also do ship a lot of stuff, like Christmas presents and birthday presents and just I miss you presents to my family. So, you know, I do ship a lot of stuff. So it makes sense for me to keep boxes, good boxes, recycle boxes.
It's the responsible thing to do.
It is. Otherwise, they'd just be going in the big recycling bin. And, you know, why do that when
Who wants that?
Who wants that? The good box.
Yeah.
I may have, like, iPhone boxes from, like, 3 phones ago, but still, they're good boxes.
So I do too. So it's fine.
Good. As long as it's not
We can be box buddies. We can be box buddies.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's other crafty stuff that I've been working on, but I feel like that's
Whoa.
Trying not to get myself in the face.
I think E is going to quickly show us
I
something.
found a yarn swift at the Goodwill for $5.99.
That is fantastic.
That is
because they're
amazing.
like $20-30.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should ask you to measure the length of yours because I bought.
Oh, please! I have a tape measure.
Nice. I bought on Knitpicks when they had a sale years ago.
No, I don't know. Oh,
a case for a yarn swift, but my swift is too big. Like it's too long, and I can't make it fit. So now I just have this really cool swift case that's hanging out. Like, oh,
26 inches.
26 inches. Okay, I will check because
That's without the thing screwed in all the way. It was squeaky.
if it'll fit, you're gonna get a yarn case along with your pom pom holders.
Got something else to go in that big box.
There we go. You'll get one of my good boxes.
I screw the bottom thing in all the way. It's 25 inches.
Okay. It might fit. Yeah, mine is really big. Which is nice because I can get lots of spin. I don't know. I don't know if bigger is better with a yarn swift, but whatever, it works. I like it.
Size doesn't matter.
But
So
yeah.
far, I've only hit myself in the face with it twice. So
Well, excellent. Only twice as good. My dogs aren't big fans of it.
no, it's a big scary.
It is, and it spins, and it makes some squeaky sounds. But I did find that I have some Lodo bars, the bar hand lotion, and I use a little bit of that to sort of grease it.
Like WD-40.
You can use beeswax too.
Yeah, I just didn't have beeswax. I just had the bar lotion that is made of beeswax.
Oh,
Processed
there you go.
beeswax.
But I use that to make it not so squeaky as it spins, because it does like to screech a lot.
I'll have to see if I can get my dad to make you a yarn counter. Take a fishing line reel counter, and he rigged up this little thing with like a drawer pull handle.
Oh.
So you run it from your swift to your counter to your ball winder, and you can tell how many yards you have.
Oh, that would be fantastic, especially for like my hand spun stuff, because I mostly guess, because counting gets hard sometimes. Because
There are a lot of numbers involved in counting.
There are a lot of numbers. And I have a nitty naughty that I made out of PVC pipe. And it's got the circumference is about 1.5 yards. But of course it depends on how tight you're pulling, and you know, as you get more and more yarn on it, it all sort of creeps in towards the center, so it's getting to be a little bit less. And so the yardage is not exactly spot on. And then I have to multiply everything by 1.5 to know what the actual yardage is. And that's a lot of counting. Like when you've got a 600 yard something thing of yarn, you're counting up in the 400s to count the number of loops. And, you know, if there's anything else going on, anyone else who knows a lot of numbers and wants to tell you about
7, 13, 18,
Yep.
3,
Yep, that will
2 pi r. Yesterday was Pi Day, right?
It was
yeah,
Pi
yesterday
Day.
was
Sure
Pi
was.
Day. Yeah.
I didn't have pie yesterday, but I did have cupcakes, so good
Close
enough.
enough. Cousins.
Yeah, it was cupcakes with lemon curd, so it was like a little lemon meringue pie on top of the cupcake.
Hey, there you go.
So
I'll accept it.
yeah, I figured it was close enough. It didn't require me going out to buy anything else. They were already in my fridge.
Fair.
And I've been working on that test knit. The test knit that I like pulled out 3 times.
Secret.
Yeah, I can't show it because it's not a for public test knit, but it's one that's done with minis, and that's the one that I pulled out 3 times because I kept running out of the first color. But it turns out the first color seems to be the only one that is like a tight squeeze. So all the other colors so far, I've had extras left over, like plenty of extra left over. Okay. Still, gauge is a thing. And that's just something that I'm going to make sure I include on my official project page, is that gauge is important with this one because it is using exactly the yardage that it calls for. So make sure that you have the yardage and the gauge. Change your needles if you have to. So. But I'm enjoying it. It's a nice, relaxing knit, and I'm super excited about what comes at the very end. I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to mess with, to finish the process, but I can't talk about it yet. Other than I'm excited. And I get to use up more of my pretty yarn from Whimsy Stitches. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Looking around. All I have around here is
I'm working on a
dogs.
hat too. I am working on a hat. I forgot about it when Pam and I were talking on my other podcast about things that we were knitting. I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually doing that too. I'm not very far. This hat, making all the noise as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I've got some ribbing and the start of some cables.
Very nice.
So there's that. Yes.
I'm a huge fan of cables on hats.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of cables on anything. I really need to get back to working on Ren's sweater that is all cables.
Better hope Ren doesn't watch this.
Oh, they know about it.
Okay.
It's not a surprise. That's one of the things I do with some of my friends who are close enough in size to me that I can just make things that fit me and it'll fit them too.
Oh, nice.
I will just pull out. When Craftsy was going out of business, Craftsy became Blueprint. Blueprint went out of business, but then got bought out as Craftsy. It's a whole thing. But anyway, Blueprint was clearing out all their stuff. And they had all of their kits on sale for like 70% off. So a whole bunch of stuff that I'd been looking at for ages and debating for ages was really, really on sale. So I pulled the trigger and I have like 6 patterns and yarn, like kits. So that's a lot of sweaters, and I don't need all of those myself.
Sweaters worth, wow.
Sweater kits. 6 sweater kits, and I think I spent like $150 for all of them.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's like buy 1 sweater kit, get 5 free.
Basically, yeah. It was
Cheapers.
Ridiculous.
Throw me in that briar patch, man.
So I bought all the patterns that I'd been dreaming of, and so far I've kept one for myself.
As you should.
And because it's a pullover that's got raglan sleeves, but it's got cables as the raglan. And the raglan or the cables go down the sides as well, and then it's got a kangaroo pouch And it's got a cowl sort of neck, but not a full-on hood. But it's got drawstrings so that you can pull the cowl tight around your neck and be all cozy without having to like pull it up. And I'd been looking at this sweater for ages. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll try and find that for next time. But I was really excited to make that one. So that was the first one that I did and kept it for myself. And I think one has gone to my sister. And Ren got the wine-colored one. And a test knit that I'd done for Stephanie Lotvin that had like big chunky cable crosses. And my sister's getting another one. And my mom took one. I make sweaters for other people. I love them, but I live in a place where I don't need sweaters as much.
Someday I'll make a sweater.
It is so much fun. I really
I need
enjoy
to be faster though.
Not necessarily.
No.
I can recommend a couple of patterns for you that are nice patterns. Like they're not. I've seen quick and easy patterns that look like quick and easy patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a couple that I do that I've made several times that are quick and easy, but they don't look like
But they look
quick and easy.
fancy.
Yeah, they look really nice. And they're done with like a worsted weight yarn.
Mm.
And most of the versions that I've done with acrylic. So they can be tossed in the washing machine, which is nice. And I use the I really like the Premier Yarns anti-pill whatever it is, but it's an anti-pilling acrylic. So you don't get the pilling and whatnot, so it's really nice. Yeah, I'll pull out some sweater patterns and maybe we'll do a sweater chat episode one day.
Ooh.
And
It would, as Lady Bedivere is saying over the chat, it would be a sweater party.
Yes.
yeah, we'll plan one of our upcoming episodes. Our knit chat will be a sweater party. And
Yes.
I'll bring out some sweaters and some pattern suggestions.
Maybe you will inspire me to knit an adult sweater. I've only knitted child sweaters.
That's what I started with. Well,
yeah.
Technically, my first sweater was for me.
I've done dog sweaters.
There you go.
People's sweaters are just like that, but entirely different.
But the sleeves don't go this way, they go this way.
Exactly. The sleeves are just to the sides instead of to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really, it is a similar concept. You know, you make a front and a back and two arms. And
see, when you make a Siggy sweater, you make a tube. And you add 2 tubes onto the tube.
That works for people?
Too. You just add tubes to the side. Yeah, we'll have a big sweater party day. I'm a big fan of knitting sweaters. I really enjoy them. I made one to give away to a person that I've never met because I just felt like it. Because sometimes I get that sort of thing in my head.
It's your thing. It's what you do.
Thing. I've done that twice now. Why do I keep doing that?
Because it's your thing. It's what you do.
I guess so.
It's your thing.
You know, it's one of those, I'm going to knit, so I might as well share the love with someone else.
Yeah.
Mostly because I knit too much, and if I kept it all for myself, I would just still be drowning in yarn. It's fine.
Yeah. You're like you have to let it flow through.
Exactly.
It comes, you process it, you release it.
Yes.
Just
It's
like
like
that in lightning.
Yarn yoga.
I am simply a way stop in its progress.
Absolutely. It's like sweater zen.
Maybe that's why I don't knit with a lot of the stuff I spin with. Because I'm just being a stop. So I get the fluff, I make it into yarn, and then I give it away. I get the yarn, I make it into something, I give it away.
Zen and the art of sweater knitting.
There we go. I like it. Does anyone else have anything else they want to talk about today?
Who else is there?
I don't know. the wide,
I mean,
wide variety.
I got a lot of things I could talk about, but none of it is relevant.
Okay. Any knitting plans upcoming?
Well, I'm going fishing next week,
Ooh.
so I will
Fish sweaters.
probably fish sweaters.
Yes. Yes.
I will make sure that I bring dishcloth cotton, and I will knit dishcloths. That's kind of what I do when I go fishing.
That seems like a good thing to knit while fishing.
Yeah.
Because if something happens, it's just a dishcloth.
Exactly. And ever since the year we went on our fishing trip and did not bring dishcloths, it's like I knitted us a dishcloth, but I only had acrylic yarn with me.
Ooh,
It was not pretty.
so
It was stupid. It was bad in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But better
And
than
then,
nothing?
yeah, well, so yes. And I told the story and everyone was like, wow, that's so resourceful. It's so good. It's amazing you were able to like knit up a dishcloth and be able to use it. And I was a new knitter at the time as well. And it's like, wow, so wild. And then I was telling the story and someone said, why didn't you just use your old t-shirts? Like, oh, yeah, that would have worked.
Well, because
We could have just
people don't
sacrificed a t-shirt.
think about using their shirts to wash dishes. You use a dishcloth.
It would have been a lot better than an acrylic dishcloth.
Oh,
Telling you.
now I'm curious, and I kind of
Don't
want
do
to
it.
use scraps to see. It's a bad plan. I shouldn't do this.
Do it anyway.
I might. Just because
Yeah.
I'm curious now.
That's my knitting plans. Make sure the fishing trip is well equipped with dishcloths.
All right. I'm just gonna keep on making baby hats and finish this test knit and then get to the sweater. I love the sweater. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight. It is, again, just a knitting episode tonight, so we're not going to be coming back to play a game with you guys. But I'll let you in on a secret.
What do you mean by that, Danny?
We're still going to play something. And it's going to be a podcast-only exclusive. So you'll have to subscribe to the podcast to hear the little adventure that's going to be recorded tonight. I'm excited. It's going to be really cool. So, we're going to head out so that we can get our game on. But thank you all for joining us tonight. We have appreciated the folks hanging out. And, yeah. We hope to see you next time in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yeah, we're
2 weeks.
we got nothing canceled yet. So, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
We haven't been canceled yet.
Hey, we still got 14 days. It can happen.
You never know. All right.
Oh no, they're gonna find out I'm super racist.
Okay, bye guys.
I'm not, I promise.